Hey, it's Eric, and I'm back. And it's been a while. Quite frankly, I'm not finding a lot of vinyl these days. I got the Castle Mumula 7-inch from Mumula out of Columbus, Ohio. These guys are cool garage rocky kind of guys. They're friends of mine. Another friend of mine from the Forbidden Dimension did the art. So I'm always happy to support people I like, and the music's good, which is always a bonus. So check them out if that sounds like your thing. The other thing I found vinyl-wise is a couple of Enoch Light LPs. I've yet to even listen to these. It's been a weird start for the year, but this is kind of easy listening, orchestral kind of stuff from the 50s and 60s. And these are great looking and great feeling LPs, so I grabbed them at a thrift shop. Other than that, what I've been finding, like what I'm sure, hopefully, a lot of you have been finding, is a whole lot of compact discs. I know David Michael Naz Nomad spoke about this recently. You know, CDs are out there. They're cheap. They're going for 50 cents. They're going for 20 cents. They're going for $1. They're going for $2. If you see something you want to check out, or something that you know of that you have yet to hear, or something that you have an LP that you want to have a disc to play in the car or whatever, CDs are a great way to go. So, to that end, Lookout Records Sampler. Lookout was a 90s punk label, most famous for having bands like Green Day and the Donnas. One of my favorite bands from the late 90s, early 2000s, Helicopters. You like AC/DC, you like Black Sabbath, you like the Misfits, you like hard rock, you like Cheap Trick, you like 70s stuff. Definitely check out the Helicopters. This is their Paying the Dues album. This is the Sub Pop issue. Spiders, a random band from Finland whose record I picked up because it was on Spine Farm. I listened to it a little bit. It's kind of glammy, hard rockish. You know, 80s classics from my youth. This was huge when I was in 9th grade. Another Australian one-hit wonder band that's a one-hit wonder that people have forgotten about. Frente. Very cute band. Labor of Love was their hit song. They also do a cover of Bizarre Love Triangle. Precious Weapons. This is one of those bands that I heard of and I never really checked out, but I found the disc for cheap, kind of glammy poppy stuff, rocky stuff from the late 2000s, early 2010s. Lunatics. They were kind of a girly punk band, I should say, from the 1990s. Rhino compilation, Sentimental Journey, a lot of classics from the 40s there. So I picked that up. Sleep at the Wheel, the great swing, Western swing revivalist from Texas. This is just a compilation of their stuff. Soundtrack to LA Confidential, and I will stop trying to thrust this at the camera. Soundtrack for the movie Nowhere. Look at this lineup though. Very 90s stuff. I don't really like all of these bands, but there's some of these, especially the Britpop stuff that I wasn't into that I wanted to check out, like Ruby. I like James, Catherine Wheel, Curve. I didn't really listen to those bands. Fortune and the Maltese. They were a local garage revival band back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I have one of their records. Good stuff. Holly Williams. Roxette. Yes, I am a sucker for Swedish music. So, and then this was probably the score compact disc wise. This is White Horse. The Fate of the World Depends on This Kiss. These are a duo from Toronto. They play kind of 50s rock with an alt country edge. Killer stuff. I was super happy to find this. Yeah, I need to listen to it more. I need to listen to all of this stuff more. So, the real reason I wanted to get back into doing this video, besides showing you guys what I've been up to, is Billy Hurst has a 500 subscribers contest going. Been a big fan of Billy's for a long time. He's a country guy, a rock guy, a pop guy. He likes some stuff that I don't really care for, but that's cool. I like hearing people talk about stuff they're passionate about. So, if you don't subscribe Billy, go take a look at his videos. He's got some music videos up of him singing. I wish he'd do some more. But he wanted us to show 4 albums from the year he was born, which was 1974. And Nas Nomad once again beat me to the punch with Blue Oyster Cult Secret Treaties. As he said, this is one of those bands that I don't hear people talk about a lot in the VC. Great hard rock, bordering on metal band. Their first 5 albums are essential. The next 2 are hit and miss, but definitely worth checking out. This has got Career of Evil, it's got Harvester of Eyes, it's got Dominant Submission, Astronomy, which was covered by Metallica. Great stuff. Forgive me, I have a cold, so I have a cough drop in. And this is they did a bunch of reissues with bonus tracks. They're well worth checking out. Okay, from Australia, Skyhooks, Living in the 70s. This is also great hard rock, just not quite metal, but hard rock Australian stuff from the 70s. Very cool songs like A Horror Movie and Carlton, and of course the title track, Living in the 70s. If you don't know this band, go on YouTube, go on Spotify, or wherever, check them out. Great stuff. All right, you're going to start detecting a theme with some of these, but I'm going to give you David Bowie's Diamond Dogs. Not the best Bowie album, not my favorite Bowie album, but the album that he put out in 1974. And I'm going to put that right there. Okay, and for Billy, because one of the things that I feel a real kinship with Billy over is that we're both big fans of this musician. And this is his 1974 record, Ramblin' Man by Waylon Jennings. Waylon will be mentioned again in this video. So what is there to say? This has got Ramblin' Man, it's got Rainy Day Woman, it's got Midnight Rider, Amanda. So good. If you guys aren't into country music, Waylon is an easy gateway. He was an original rock and roller. He was Buddy Holly's bass player on that final tour, and he was Johnny Cash's roommate. So Waylon, his 70s stuff is great. Check him out. All right, so the next part of the challenge was 4 albums from the year you were born. So I was born in 1972, and to that end, David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust, and the Spiders from Mars. I don't know what I need to say about this. Classic glam record. Hawkwind. I'm not even going to attempt that title, but there it is. This has got The Watcher, which is a Lemmy Kilmister track, and it's got Space is Deep on it. So I'm not going to say that, and Brainstorm's a great track too. The rest of these songs are just okay, but though, just like Blue Oyster Cult, those first 5 or 6 Hawkwind albums are kind of essential 70s hard rock, stuff that informed metal and punk. Once again, Nas Nomad's a big fan, so and I'm a big fan of The Damned as well, which is also one of his favorite bands, which is one of the reasons I love his channel. But this is really about Billy, so Hawkwind, check it out, great stuff. Speaking of underrepresented British bands, Hawkwind was from the UK. Brinsley Schwarz with The Silver Pistol. So in the early 70s, and I know Headley's been talking about this, you have the country rock movement. Coming up parallel to that in England, you have the pub rock movement. Brinsley Schwarz was a band with Nick Lowe. These guys would go on to, well, they would break up, but Nick Lowe would go on to kind of shepherd in the punk scene. And this is kind of their take on American country-esque stuff, especially songs like the title track Silver Pistol and Juju Man are just great tracks. Range War is another favorite of mine. I just noticed that in the corner. All right. And then finally from 1972, can't go wrong with BOC. This is their first record. This has got Transmaniacon, I'm on the Lam but Ain't No Sheep, Then Came the Last Days of May, Stairway to the Stars, just Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll, Workshop of Telescopes. There's so much good stuff on here. They sold a lot of these records. You should be able to find them fairly inexpensively. You could probably find the CDs. Check it out. If you like progressive rock, if you like hard rock, if you like metal, if you like punk, check out Blue Oyster Cult. All right. So then finally, for some bonus points, the question was 4 favorite country albums. I like a good amount of country, so these aren't necessarily my favorite records, except for this one, which I'm just going to show very briefly. Waylon Jennings' Honky Tonk Heroes, which I've talked about before. Such a great record. You know, this is I have it on vinyl. I could not find my copy. It's in my mess of a room somewhere. But this is the CD reissue from the late 90s. I really wish they would. I guess this would be a great candidate for a nice vinyl reissue. Probably one out there, right? Okay, so you can't talk about country without talking about Johnny Cash, Bitter Tears. This is one of my favorite of the Cash records that does not get talked about. This is about the Ballad of the Native Americans. This is probably best known for the Ballad of Ira Hayes, but As Long as the Grass Shall Grow, Custer, Apache Tears, there's not a bad song on this record. There's also a very great book called Heartbeat and a Guitar that's about the making of this record. I highly recommend it. If you are looking for Johnny beyond the stuff that you already know about, beyond the American recordings, beyond the Live at San Quentin, Live at Folsom Prison, I can't recommend this record enough. You should grab it if you get the chance. All right. Marty Robbins, Gunfighter Ballads and Trail Songs. This is just the classic of the western side of country and western music. Big Iron, Cool Water, 160 Acres, They're Hanging Me Tonight. I mean, every one of these songs, every single one of them. El Paso, of course, was the huge hit. My favorite is probably Big Iron. And Robbins had such a great voice. And there's a lot of these out here. I also have the CD reissue that I got long before I got this vinyl. Highly recommended. All right. So, from the 1970s, you know, oftentimes you don't recommend a live album as a starting point, but for Townes Van Sant, Live at the Old Quarter, Houston, Texas, is the starting point. Great packaged vinyl, 4 sides, so good. Just, Poncho and Lefty, Waiting Around to Die, Rex's Blues, classics like Nine Pound Hammer. This is where to start. Townes Van Sant. All right, and finally, because it's me, because I don't play by the rules usually, I'm going to show my beat up, damaged, and pathetic copy of what people call cowpunk, even though the cowpunks didn't really like it, but one of my all-time favorite records. A record that I never see anybody else talk about in the VC, that I've talked about before, that I want you guys to check out. It recently went up on Bandcamp and I believe Spotify, so it's out there. So, if you like the Flying Burrito Brothers, you like William S. Burroughs, you like the Ramones, you like the Kinks, do yourself a favor and check out the Jet Blackberries, Desperate Fires. This is their second album, 1986. You can see mine's damaged. Fatherly Advice, Kid Alaska, So Hard to Leave, Long Distance, Tomb of Love, Flesh Element, Passing Through. Oh, just so good. So many great songs. Killer record. Check it out. So, thank everyone for watching. Billy, I always enjoy your videos. I'm so glad that you're still out there making them. I get a smile every time I see that you've posted something new. So keep them coming, and I hope you get 1 million more subscribers. So until next time, this is Eric. See you all later.